Good evening, everybody. Today is Monday, and like I said, we're going to Bang City tonight, and we're about to lay down some truth bombs for you. I'm going to just send out some invites quickly, get my guest in here, Charles King, and we're going to get started. We're going to hear what Charles has to say and Charles' story. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I also appreciate all the messages from yesterday. All right, so like I said, tonight's guest, Charles King. I sent out a video earlier on my stories. Charles is a friend of another friend of mine, Godfather Swole. So he had recommended that I get Charles on this live series to tell his stories. So I am now going to bring Charles in. There we go, brother.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
How's it going, bud, man? How's it going?
Going good. Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you perfectly fine. How about you?
Uh, I'm all good.
All
I'm
good,
all
all,
good.
all good, man. So it's a pleasure to meet you finally. I know that we had planned this about a month ago, but here we are today, bud. So again, it's a pleasure, and I know that just by speaking with the Godfather of Soul, he had a lot of actually good things to say about you, and he's the reason actually why we're talking today. So props to him for giving us this time together. And like I said, he had a lot of good things to say about you. So first of all, I want you to introduce yourself and kind of why we're here.
Uh, my, my name is Charles King. Of course, I'm going through the issues with the mother of my.
Looks like we have some issues here, bud. You got pause there. I don't know if anybody else can hear him. Wonderful Instagram. There we go, bud. You're back.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Not sure what happened there, but if you just want to start over, I think it pretty much cut off as soon as you said your name.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm Charles King. Not only am I a pro wrestler, but mixed martial artist. Three and three record. Muay Thai, and also a professional wrestler. I go by as the Young Gunner, Chucky D. Uh, um, right, right now, do you want me to start the
So,
basic one?
so
You know,
whereabouts are you actually? Like, get right in California, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so you're out in California. And you know what? I've talked with a lot of people out in California. It seems to be a massive problem out there. Um, and I know that you're dealing with a lot of family court stuff. So how about we get into some of that? Like how did you actually get into this family court, this issue that you've want to talk about today? How was that first presented to you?
yeah. So basically, um, going through this, it started out with I've been taking care of the mother of my kids. I have been taking care of my stepkids for over 3 years, and her idea of respect was I have to go through her before saying anything chastisement, anything with my stepkids.
Okay.
It just got too bad to where my stepkids were telling me no. They were telling me when they were going to do something, how they were going to do it, when they were going to do it. And finally, it came to a point where I learned to know I can take care of my kids. I was like, but if you're going to consistently remind me that, hey, these aren't your kids, these are my kids, I said, you can go back to the Bay Area. I was like, because it's no reason I should be living in my own house and I have to stay quiet.
Hmm.
Because
Good for you.
my stepkids, what led to it, I won't even go all the way to, I'll get to how we met, all that later. But what led to the issue was my stepkid walked out of class, she got in trouble, the teacher called, and I had to leave work.
Okay.
So when I left work, I was coming from McDonald's. I had the babies, the 1-year-old and the 2-year-old. I had them some McDonald's, some nuggets. The older one, the stepdaughter, the 9-year-old, she said, I want McDonald's. I said, you got in trouble. I said, you can't keep getting rewarded for getting in trouble in school. That's what I'm telling you. She ran and told her mom, and her mom said, well, this is my child, so why can't she get what she wants? I said, because if you keep rewarding her behavior, she's never going to learn.
Hmm.
And so she said, well, it needs to be her father to be there for her and teach her because she's not getting it from you. Mind you, she listens to me, she respects me, but as soon as her mom says something, then that's when the behavior starts coming. And
Yeah.
mommy said no. Mommy said I don't have to listen to you. So when I gave her the ultimatum, I went to work and the next day I said, you know what? When you start doing better in school, you'll start getting whatever you want. I was like, but I can't keep rewarding you. That's it. So Leia, which is the baby mother, she told me the next day, she's like, I really don't want to leave. Did you mean what you said when you said I can go back to the Bay Area? I said, yeah. I said, because I've been taking care of you guys for a long time. I've been real good to you. I've been faithful. I've been having a good time with you, but it's the consistency when you're disrespectful. When you're
Hmm.
repetitively disrespectful like that, it's annoying.
Yep.
So her thing was she flipped it on me. She said, well, I've never been in a stable relationship. I've been through this. I've been through that. My father was always abusive. He was an alcoholic. You know, instead of taking accountability, she reverts to what she had to go through as a child.
Yeah.
She and then I have to feel bad. I have to accept it, but I don't have to keep accepting torment.
That's right.
I don't. I shouldn't have to be like, my child gets in trouble at school and be like, okay, I think, please be okay. No, no. If I'm taking care, I'll put it this way. All she had to do was pay her phone bill. I paid the rent and the bills. She
Okay.
had nothing to worry about. So what happened? Uh, I said, I helped her kids get in Valley Regional Medical Center. It's a they help with developmental issues for children, and they help get them recovered. They start work. It's like a process for autism, ADHD, ADD. They help
Okay.
kids, and I helped her daughter Janelle. I helped her get in, as well as my kids get in. My two girls. I have Harmony and
Okay.
Darlene. They're 11 months apart. Harmony was born January 26, 2021, and Darlene was born December 24th, 2021. They're 11 months apart. They call it Irish
Okay.
twins. They're literally just alike. And
Okay.
I've been there since they were born, since day one. So, mind you, so after everything is going on, a week had went by. It seemed like everything was good, but little things she was doing wasn't adding up. She was answering the phone and then going outside. She was texting. She was grabbing her phone and then put it in sitting in not where the screen was
Yeah.
showing.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. I just brushed it over, and then finally uh I went to work, and I wasn't going to go to work. I said I need a break because I was pulling in 65, 68 hours a week. I said, I need a break. I said, I need to take a day off. I said, because I need to recover. And she
Yeah.
said, no. She said, well, we're getting back pay for Janelle being autistic. And I said, oh, it finally happened. She had been trying, she wasn't getting anything for her daughter being autistic, but because I helped her find the resources, she had got back pay of 17,000.
Okay.
But then she had got financial aid because I was helping her with school. So when she got all her pay, she didn't tell me. She had said, no, you should go to work. You should really go to work, get a full day's pay, and then get the full check. So next week you can have everything. I said, look, still got several bills to pay. I was like, but I think your money's going to come in soon. So if it's cool, I've been taking care of it. For 3 years, I've been taking care of this place,
Mhm.
and you've only had to pay your phone bill. That's $60 a month for three
Yeah.
years. I said, let me have this break for once. And when I asked her, I was like, you can pay the rent, you can do whatever, and then the money I get, the 2,000 or whatever, we can go on vacation. I had every extravagant plans, everything. Uh, she just convinced me. She said, it's not worth it. She like, just go and convince me, womanly convincing me. I said, okay. Did what she said. Well, she even woke me up. Said, let's do something. So of course we did mommy and daddy things, activities before I left. And when I left, I just didn't feel right.
Mhm.
I didn't feel right. I was like, man. Usually she called. Usually she was like, you don't have. She said this. She said you don't have to come home early to change the kids. I'll make sure I'm up because I had to leave work early from 6 or 7 in the morning every day because my kids were getting rashes between their legs because she would sleep too long and they would be sleeping in a pissy diaper or
Mhm. Yeah.
uh, and so I started leaving work early, and my job was allowing it, but my job was getting a little frustrated. It's like, we want to send you a little further out to get these loads done, but you have to continuously go home. And so, of course, they were complaining about that, but my kids come
Yeah.
before anybody.
Yeah.
So when I didn't get the call, she told me I don't have to come, I didn't put two and two together. I was trusting her.
Yeah.
And then finally, when I went home, um, I was calling. I said, "Hey, I'm picking Janelle up from school." And she said, "Oh, don't worry, we're not home. I got them. I got everybody." I said, "Okay." And then I heard somebody in the background said, "Who was that, babe?" Mind you, okay, I don't know who just called you, babe, but you've been staying with me. Uh, she said, "Hold on, wait a minute." She said, "There's something I want to tell you." And I said, "All right." I knew what it was, but I
Yeah.
didn't want to accept it. I said, just spit it out. So she said, "Oh well, we're we're on our way to Arizona." I said, "For what?" She said, "Well, there's something." Oh, well, she said, "Well, Jerome, which is the guy she left with, he's out of jail. He's doing good." Said, "I got the money. The money came in." I said, "Okay." She was like, "But I've been thinking about what you said, and I think I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to go to Arizona, and we're going to try and get on our feet." She said, "If this doesn't work out, I'll come back." The nerve,
Wow.
for one,
Wow.
that
Wow.
is a bold statement,
Damn right.
a very bold statement. Say, if this doesn't work out with me and him, I'll come back.
Wow.
I said, and the crazy part was, I said, look, I don't mind. I said, you could be happy. I said, it's all good. I said, I'm not worried about it. I said, it's gonna be all right. So she said, I was like, I'm gonna go to the kids. I said, I'm gonna go to the daycare and pick the kids up. She said, that's another thing we need to talk about. I said, what was wrong? I said, I got Jelon and Janelle, which is her kids, and I got Darlene and Harmony from daycare. So I said, where are you? She said, I'm already in Blythe. So there's no way you didn't just up and leave
That's
in one
right.
day. You planned this.
Yeah.
You planned this. And my neighbor said that he's like, hey, she was here there was a U-Haul truck around 3 o'clock in the morning. I went to work at 2. She made sure I got to work at 2.
Mm.
So she made sure I was out the house before he got there.
And she split.
So when I came home to an empty house. Mind you, I still got to go to work the next day. I still got to provide and make sure I have a roof over my head. But my heart was so heavy and I
Mm.
was so angry. I called my brother Marshawn and my sister-in-law because I called my mom. I didn't get an answer right away. I had to talk to somebody. And I said, she just left and she's got my kids. She went to my daycare and she took the
Mm.
kids. And and she was saying, well, okay, when I get there, I'll call you and you can tell them good night. So a lot of things are running through my mind. A lot of things, you know. I've overcome a lot of things. I've been through anger management before from past. I I had to deal with childhood trauma. I had to deal with bad breakups. It was the worst part of this part what she did when I met her, I was going through an annulment. I had got
Okay.
I had married someone basically, and the 3 months into the marriage, I walked in on the woman in bed with another guy, and I flipped out, and I beat him up, and I ended up going to jail. So around the time I was getting out, that's when I met Leah Phillips, and that's that she was telling me, "Oh, it's okay. It's going to be all right. I'm here for you if you need me." But then again, I had a great job. I had everything going. I was
Yeah.
only in jail for a few days. It wasn't that. It was still bad because I was fighting. Um, I was fighting the case, but she saw me as a meal ticket.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. That's what it
I
sounds
said,
like.
yeah, I told her, I said, look, I can't afford any more hurt. That's how we first met. I said, I can't afford any more hurt. I don't want to I don't want to meet someone who's still enticed with the father of their kids or with another man, anything like that. I said, I don't mind taking care of a woman, but I don't want to be played anymore.
Yeah.
So I went into this relationship already hurting, but I was healing while trying to be with
That's
someone.
good.
And what she did, she said, I will never lie to you. Mind you, of course, we had sex. And what happens? She gets pregnant, and I said, I thought you were on birth control. She said, oh, I told you that honestly because I was uncomfortable telling you that I wasn't on, and I just want another child. So you lied.
Wow.
So this relationship started out with the
Yeah.
lie.
Unbelievable, brother.
So you're pregnant. Now we're having a child, and then the worst part was we had Harmony. I was almost kicked out. I love you too, Auntie. I was almost kicked out the hospital when Harmony was born. So Leia, when Harmony was born, she told me, she said, I don't want to live with my mom because my mom still does crack cocaine. She's still on and off. She's back and forth. My dad's a heavy alcoholic. My sister puts her hands on me, and my grandmother always threatens to kick me out. So her grandmother called. She said, when that baby comes out, you're not coming back here because we don't have any more room for you. So I told her, I said, you can stay with me if you want. But she wanted to stay at their
Mm.
grandma's.
Mm.
So I told her I'm going to take Harmony with me. So I started getting taken out the hospital room for my first child. Hey, can you leave the hospital room? Hey, can you leave? Can we talk to the mother of the kids? And then finally, the doctor finally told me after the third time of me leaving, I said, why? It's a security in here. And why am I asked? Why do I keep being asked to leave? She said, it seems to me that you're telling mother that you're taking a baby and that she's going to be with you. I said, this was the plan from the jump
Yeah.
because of her living situation. Said, well, mother says that she wants to live with the child. I said, I never said I cared. I never minded, but she has 2 other children. And she never said she wanted to live. She said she wanted to stay in San Francisco. So I said, well, It's the doctor told me this is a San Francisco general. Said what we can do is if mom wants, we can escort you out and we can get her to go back home, or you can let her come with who are the other two children? She said Janelle and Jelon, and you guys can go at it from there. So not only did you lie about being on birth control, you brought a whole life into here. Then you told these people that I was going to take this kid once we were done, once we were out the hospital, and just basically abandon you and not let you see. You lied and said I should have just told you. I should have just told you what I wanted to do, and I apologize. So when leaving, I said, "Don't ever do that to me again, please. I don't like that."
Yeah.
And I'm very calm. I'm very calm and relaxed. So it's very rare that I yell. So of course I look frustrated. I'll be dead honest. I look frustrated. She said, "You look very quiet." I said, "I just don't like that." I was like, the security in the room and then being told that I'll be escorted out if I
Yeah,
do
for
not
sure.
come to demands. She was like, "That'll never happen again." I get to the house to pack her stuff. Her brothers are there. They get in my face. I get the threats. Oh, if you do this and that and the other. I said, "Look, I'm not doing that. I don't do threats." I was like, mind you, I don't, hey, I'm a mixed martial artist. I'll beat you up. I don't care. I, back then, I used to beat people up or worse. And I don't want that mindset. I have kids now.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. I hear you, man.
I have a sacrifice now. Now, you guys are in my face. Now, San Francisco, I come from Hunters Point. I come from the trenches. I come from the projects. I can make a phone call easily, and we can all do anything right now. But that's not my mindset. I have a child right here, a newborn. The fact that you guys are in my face with the child in my arms, and she just walked upstairs while her brother surrounded me, and she got her stuff. Everybody, I guess so. Then my family knew it was going. I called my family when I got in the car. My family from San Francisco, Stockton, they were at my house already waiting. So when her brothers came after they calmed down, now my family's here. But I told my family be respectful. I could have been tit for tat. I could have
Yeah.
said this is what they did. Now see, I'm the calm one. My family, they're the yeah, they need help. So I'm not in that life no more. I don't have to relive that. I don't have to dwell on what I used to be because I'm not who I used to be. I'm
That's
somebody
right.
different now.
Yeah.
I've changed and I'm grateful for the change. And so when finally we had we started working on things, it was getting better. Of course, her brothers apologized eventually later. They even came to my fight. Now, these guys didn't even know I was a mixed martial artist. They just got an invitation to come to an outing, and then I was fighting. And they said, "We didn't even know you were a fighter." I said, "Yeah, I'm a fighter,
Yeah.
and I'm a pro wrestler." I said, "I know you guys thought you guys were surrounding a pro wrestler. I'm an MMA fighter as well." I said, "But I don't have to relish on it. I don't have to throw it in your
Yeah.
face. It's no big deal." Because I could have beat the brakes off, but I didn't do it. So what was worse was she started taking birth control. She got 75 pills in a bottle. She only had took two of them. What happens after that?
Yeah.
After she stops taking them, here comes Darlene. She's pregnant again. I was thinking she was on birth control
That's
again,
wow.
and she didn't tell me. So that's how we had our two kids. None of them were planned. She just told me she was taking the birth control and lied.
It's kind of like a trap, Rod.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it sounds like. Is
said
it's an entrapment.
she had never been in a stable relationship. She had been staying with the grandmother. She never she wanted to go to school. She wanted to get a lot of things done. So when she was with me for those 3 years, she got everything done. And once everything got done, that's when her attitude started getting worse.
No doubt.
Um, so I don't want to just bash her. I don't want to say she didn't love me because I'm sure she did
Yeah.
love me.
Yep.
But around that time when her first love was Jerome. So when Jerome was starting to get out of jail, her attitude started changing. That love and that of course she did little sneaky things every now and then. Calling him behind my back, talking to him in jail, putting money on his books, uh, other things. It started to get worse because she would be at family members' houses, and I guess he was out for 3 weeks. She would she would come to my grandmother's house or her uncle's house. She would go outside and be on the phone for an hour or
Hmm.
longer, and I wouldn't. I'm not the type of guy that'll. Of course, people were mad at me, like you didn't find any red flags. I saw the red flags.
You
I
just,
ignored it.
yeah, you ignored them. I know. And
I
we've all
didn't.
been there, bud.
Yeah, I didn't want to go through the same thing
That's
again.
right. Yeah.
So the first one, I walk in on the woman in bed with another guy. This one, I don't walk in on her with another guy, but she leaves with another guy and takes my kids. So it's back to back heartbreaks. Um, I waited a few days, and then she told me she said I lost my money. All 17,000 is gone, and he's gone. And she said, I need you to send me some money for a plane to get us back. And instead of buying a ticket, I sent her the money. And then she called and she said, we're on our way to the Bay Area. And I heard her mother, her father, her brothers. And I said, I sent you the money. She said, we're not flying no more. We're just going to drive. So, okay. She went to San Francisco instead of bringing my girls like she said she was going to do.
Yeah. After
And
you
so
sent her the money.
mhm, they went to the Bay Area. And I said, where in the Bay Area are you at? She was like, I'm in the Bay Area. I said, where in the Bay Area are you at? I said, I'll let you know soon. I'm a little nervous. He's still right here. He's a little irritated. So I don't care about him.
Yeah.
I care about my kids. So she messaged me later on that night. She said, I know you want the girls back, but what about me and you? The hell? You're saying that you left state with another man, and you're literally asking me, "What about me and you?"
Yeah.
And I told her what she wanted to hear. I said, "If getting the girls back means me and you have to work things out and get counseling, that's what I'll do to be a father." And
You're a good
she
man, bud.
said, she said that's not the response I wanted because it seems like you're only doing this for them and not me and you. Me and you was over though when you
Yeah.
brought him in.
Wow.
So I let it slide. But weeks went by, and then finally I said, "Hey, it's been 4 weeks. Father's Day is 2 weeks away." And the thing that she told me, it set me off. And she said, "I don't know if I can do Father's Day because we have plans on Father's Day with Jerome and his brother Sean." I said, wait a minute.
Mm.
You've already taken my kids from me. You're not taking Father's Day from me. My father died. My father was the best father I can ever ask for. Everybody in the neighborhood knew my dad. So Father's Day is very sentimental to me. I'm sorry. I don't want to get emotional because you know, but
Okay,
Father's Day is
brother.
very important to me.
Yeah.
It's super important. Like that was a heartbreaker. So a couple weeks went by. She called me. She video called me, and um, I was at the court, and she was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm applying. I'm filing for custody." I was like, "Cause I can't keep waiting for you." And she
Okay. So
cussed
you
me
were the
out.
one then that went to the courts first.
Hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah, she cussed me out and said, "That's a snake move. Like you did this behind my back. I told you to just wait until I was ready. I see what you're doing," said, "so since you want to go to court and file, You can wait until that court date to see your kids again. And she hung up.
Unreal.
So a couple weeks went by. I got a call at 3:30 in the morning, and my daughter Harmony called me and was running, no shirt on, diaper, everything. And she said, "Hi, Daddy." I stopped what I was doing. I'm smiling, and I heard, "Where the F is the phone at? Where is she at?" I said, "Who's cussing at my kids like they're a grown man?" And I hear him come. And when I heard that smack, he hit my daughter like
Oh,
she
wow.
was just, and I heard her scream. I had to hear my 2-year-old scream, and I couldn't kill the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in me said kill him, but I have to
That's tough.
fight a fight. I can't win. So my fight was staying patient. When I know if I would have had him, I would have taken everything from him. I would have taken everything from them. And I apologize for this, but you not only did you move on, but your new dude is putting his hands on my 2-year-old. That hit the people I spar with in the gym, the people I wrestle with in the wrestling ring. I will compare the chops that we do in wrestling
Yeah.
with how he hit my daughter across the back.
Unreal,
And
man.
I had to, all I could do was call the police and let them know what happened. And there was nothing I could do about it but be told you got to wait for your court date.
That's
And when
fucking.
she was asked, the police, the officer said, "Hey, how's about you don't call or message because now she's saying you're falsely accusing her." But I had a driver with me that seen it that gave his statement as well. So when I got to court, she no showed, but she zoomed in, so they sent us to the mediator. And this is when this is how I learned the courts are for the
Mm-hmm.
women. I learned the hard way. I went to the back and said, "Hey, she's not here at court. Wow, that probably means that I'm gonna get custody because she no showed." No, they gave her a chance. They let her call. She
That's
zoomed.
unbelievable.
And she she talked. She said, "Oh, you know, he's very selfish, and he does." She said, "Well, explain." I had to hear what she didn't like about me, and she couldn't think of
Mm-hmm.
anything. She said, "Well, he's selfish. Well, what is he selfish of?" I said, "Well, you know, it's his way or the highway." And she told them about how I was with my stepkids, and I said, "There's no favoritism." So the mediator, she listened. She listened. But the worst part was when she said, "I'm willing to come back, but Charles has a 2-bedroom condo." Said, "I'm willing to come back if me and Jerome can get one room and Charles can just get the other, and we can co-parent that way until things are at a mutual understanding." The nerve of the mediator to look me in the eyes and say, "Are you willing to come to terms with that?" No.
Yeah.
How's that even a question? So when I said no, the mediator just said, "Okay, well, father's not willing to compromise
Of course.
and go with this, so we're going to have to come with another solution." So I said, "Hey, well, I said I don't think it's fair." I was like, if I were, that's a hostile environment. So what is the issue with me getting my girl? I said if she's unstable and she's bouncing around from place to place, Bay Area to city to city in every part of the Bay Area, I should be able to have my kids because I'm
Mm-hmm.
stable. And she said, "No, my girls have been with me all their lives." So I finally, the media, she said, "Well, where were you staying when you had the kids?" And she said, "Well, we've been staying with Charles King." So, oh, the courts were under the impression my girls were living in San Francisco the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They were under the impression that I was a part-time weekend daddy. They
Yeah.
didn't know that I was there at the hospital from day one. When they were out, they were with me. Everywhere they went, they were with daddy. When I
Hmm.
went to train, they were with daddy. When I went to sleep, and half the time I went to work, they were on my DOT list in the truck. They were with daddy at work. So
Yeah,
we set up another court date. I said, can I still get visitations until this court date? Because you're pushing it out months and months and months at a time, and I don't get to see them.
that's right.
No, we still want, we don't want to mess the kids' heads up. Okay, yeah, okay. It's not like I'm a random guy. I'm just the guy that gave them. I mean, all right. So I don't want to get upset, but I said okay. I listened. I listened. We went to court the second time. She didn't show up.
Again.
So they said we're going to give her one more chance. So I got a lawyer. I had to pay $10,000. Got the lawyer, was set, and finally, a month went by. At the day of court, this is why the judge gave it to me. At the court, she sends a message. I don't want to show up to court because Jerome's going to end up dragging you somewhere, and I can't save you. Said I'm not giving up these girls whatsoever. These are my kids. I don't care what anybody has to say, and if it's a problem, you can do something about it.
Just taunting
Come
you.
on, you're taunting. Yes, you're taunting me, and you know I don't believe in fighting women. I don't believe in fighting women. Now,
Yeah,
if I were to snap and put my hands on you, there's definitely going to be more consequences for me, even though you're trying to trigger me and taunt me. I'm not going to
definitely.
give you the satisfaction of yelling and cussing you out.
Hmm.
Every time I reached out for my kids, it was through text message because I wanted a paper trail because I
That's
didn't
right.
trust calling
Yeah,
her. Um, when when I got to court and we showed the judge that text message and I had a lawyer, the lawyer said, "Hey, you know what? As of today, you have full sole legal and physical custody," and I
good for you.
just rejoiced. It felt like a happy ending.
Yeah,
And my lawyer said, within 2 weeks, your girls will be returned home. That was September 6th. The girls will
this
be
past
returned home.
this past September.
Yeah, this
Okay,
past September 6th. And oh, San Joaquin County, we're behind on clerks, so it'll take a month before we can get it actually stamped. Their forward paperwork. So what does that have to do with me getting my girls?
exactly.
You can't legally get your girls until you have that forward paperwork. Then it's actual a legit document, and then we can go with having child services pick the girls up from a safe place and have the mutual exchange. When that happened, oh, I'm sorry. The day that I was granted custody, the mediator reached out to mom to let her know because she missed court
That's
that
right.
what
Yeah.
that proceedings went on without her, and that Charles got physical custody. She left to Dallas,
Did she really? Yeah, I was going to probably say that she's probably scrambled very quickly after she heard that.
scrambled, left. I called in a missing persons, uh, uh, and then I gave them the paperwork without the stamp. I just showed them and said, "This is why she left." So they called her. She said, "Oh, I'm only here for a month. I'm trying to find a place of living." They told her, "Oh, well, you have to come back." They didn't push the issue, but they called her.
Hmm.
Mind you, if I would have been there, I would have had police surrounded.
100%.
So you guys called her and gave her the option, basically
Hmm.
bargained with her. She came back, and now I'm paying private investigator. They're $2,500 a month. I still have to pay my rent. My lawyer still waits, so I said I don't want anybody anymore. I just
Hmm.
want my kids.
Yeah.
It's now November. I'm still waiting on the stamp of
Still,
approval.
Unbelievable, brother.
to get my
Unbelievable.
girls. I'm a father with full soul, physical, and legal custody, and my girls are nowhere around.
Unbelievable. Do you know where they are right now?
She's back in San
She's
Francisco.
back in San Fran.
It's
Ab-
so bad. Her my stepkids, they go to school at Glen Park Elementary. I know where they go to school because everything she applies for, she still uses my
okay.
address. So everything where it says, okay, you are now enrolled this, she's applied for other stuff, and then it comes back to my address. So it shows where she's at. So she's not using her new address because she doesn't want to be traced back.
Yeah.
But I'm not chasing her. And then she let my family basically know. She said all this could have been avoided if he would have just let me come back.
It's
And
unbelievable, but
yeah, she told me, she had said, I really care about you. I thank you for everything you've done for me, but our time basically passed. He's like, you don't know what it's like to be in love with someone for so long, and they're just snatched and ripped away
mm,
from you. Said, I just, and I believe you won't let me be a mother if we were to, if I were to be with him. So I don't want to keep the kids from you, but I don't want to lose him. He's worth
that,
everything to me. I didn't
that's
message back. I
that's
didn't message back.
yeah.
Um, I miss my
No,
kids every day. I
no
went
doubt,
from
brother.
yeah, every day I was with them, and now since May 16th is when she took off.
So that's the last time that you've seen them was May. That's
Last time.
unbelievable, bro. It's unbelievable. And see, you're one of the odd few that actually have, that court order that states that you have full sole custody. And yet, you're still here 2 months later. And really, it's not even really about the fact that, yeah, she took off. It's the fact that, the stamp that you're waiting for just to make it legal is still not done. So like I see where the problem lies is, the process of elimination. Well, first of all, you're a man, right? So this is going on with men, and they take their sweet ass time. And we all know that, if a woman were to do that, or if, you did what she has done to you, you'd have the full police force out against you. There'd be Amber Alerts, all of this other stuff. Yet, the as I was listening to you, really, they're giving her more or less the benefit of the doubt kind of thing that,
Yeah,
she's not trying to do this, but she's trying to make it seem like it's a protection, and there is no protection there. The fact of the matter is, listening to you, I could tell you right away that she is 100% a classic narcissist that
yeah,
only, what I mean, that only cares about herself. And even with the other guy, even with her claiming that she's doing it for him, she's really not. You know what I mean? It's sad, bro, because your kids are having to deal with this stuff. The fact that when you told me that he hit your kid and you heard that, fuck, that had to have been tough, man. Like that's probably the toughest thing that I've heard in interviewing anybody to date, was to have to,
I
you know what I mean, like having to listen to something like that. That takes a lot of inner strength for you to do what you did, and to try and do it the right way. And you're still trying to do it the right way, you know what I mean? And it's just this whole system. And we have people like your ex that is able to play the system so well. And we all forget that, all these problems, they're really focusing on you. So she's trying to focus on you. She's trying to make all the hurt about you, right? When in reality, dude, it's your kids being harmed. It's not just the mental harm that they're dealing with you not being there anymore now. But now you're saying, they're being physically harmed, and still the courts aren't doing nothing. Like this is an absolute shame. And this is why, like, I did speak with the Godfather Swole a little bit, gave me a little bit of background of it. And, I knew that it was going to be heartbreaking. I didn't know that it was that severe. So, I'm very sorry, dude, that this has happened. And again, it's why that I created this platform, because more of us need to stand up to it.
Yeah.
And, it's just because I'm in Canada and you're in the States in California, the similarities are so scary
Yeah.
that, we have to do something about it. And I'm glad that you are taking this approach, in trying to remain calm, because, dude, I know how hard it is. I really do. I've been there myself. So, it's a situation that man, I didn't expect to hear that, but props to you, dude, for sticking through it and keeping as calm as you are, because there's a lot of men that I know that are going to listen to this and have listened to this right now, and I can tell you right now that probably they would have done something different. So, dude, like, my hat is totally off to you for that. But
And
go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go
Um,
ahead, bud. Go ahead, bud.
um, I can tell you a few things. First, I'll start off with the things that started. I knew she was lying when she had some lying ways when Harmony got pregnant, when Harmony was coming.
Yeah.
But the stories of her exes started coming out. And there's a man named Leonard that's in prison right now, and one of his charges is rape.
Hmm.
She had said he raped her. He did some other stuff. He went to prison for something else, but one of the charges was for what she had said he did. Then she had told me later on, a year and a half into our relationship, nah, he didn't rape me. I just didn't want to have a threesome at that time, and I was mad. So I said, you didn't want to have a threesome with him because were you doing it before? She said, yeah, but he wouldn't stop, and I wanted to just be me and him. So once he cut me off, I just told him he raped me. I said, he's in prison. You
Yeah.
showed me documentation and showed me his name where it said his name, his first name and last name. He's in prison, and one of the charges was rape. So you're admitting to me you lied.
And he was convicted of that.
He's convicted. He's still in
Wow.
prison. On top of that, Janelle's father, he lost custody to Jerome is Janelle's father. The guy she left me with, that's my stepdaughter's dad. That's her first love. That's who she left with. So he, not only did you do that to him, he got in trouble and he has the stigma because you told the
Yeah.
courts when he broke up with you for somebody else that he was touching Janelle and he was making her get undressed in front of him. So it was giving him child pedophilia vibes. So the court was uncomfortable with letting him have him full custody, and they
Mm.
granted her full custody. It seems like, and then Jalon, which is the second oldest, she was mad at him because he wouldn't leave his wife for her. So she told him the same thing. She was on birth control and she got pregnant, and she told the wife. And this is everything she started telling me later on after we have two kids. I said, yo, you've
It's crazy.
ruined a lot of lives. She said, I want you to really accept me. I want you to forgive me. I've done some things because she's gotten church. She got baptized. So I'm thinking she wants to turn a new leaf.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know what? You made some mistakes. Those are big
Damn
mistakes. You got a
right.
man in prison. That's a very big mistake. Um, you got somebody in there that's in jail, that's getting out. Of course, he was selling drugs and stuff. So when he lost Janelle, I'm not talking about Leonard no more. Now I'm talking about Jerome. When he lost Janelle, he went on a downward spiral. So I guess he just lost his wits. He's like, I don't have my daughter no more. I don't have anything to care about. They're
Yeah.
saying I'm a child pedophile. I'm gonna do what I want, and then they're right back together. So you ruined his life, but now you ruined mine, and
Yeah.
went back to the guys you ruined. Um, I have to keep my mind because I wasn't always right there. I had a nervous breakdown in my job that told me, we got to let you go. I said, I can't take it no more. I can't do it.
You're
And
only human, man.
they helped me to my car, and then my job told me, they said, you know what, with everything going on, man, I think it's best we separate and part ways. And then I had to get a new job
Hmm.
eventually. I couldn't work. I was mentally not there.
Yeah, I feel you, bud.
So I had to go on a prayer because I'm a man of God. But I had to call on family. I said, I can't do this by
Hmm.
myself. I need people to talk to. So that's when I started my support group, King's Relationship Recovery Group.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah.
So
Um,
you started the support group, and like how has that been going? And for one, like that's a part of healing for yourself as well. So how do you find that, since you've started the program, how do you feel that, you've been able to cope with things? Is it easier for you, because I know you're talking with a lot of people and you're hearing a lot of stories as well, just like we're doing right now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I know for myself, it is part of a healing journey when we're, talking about these things. So I'm wondering, with you starting that, if you feel that it's been helping you as well to cope with some of the stuff that you've gone through.
it has because um, hearing other people's stories. So um, when it's in my custody case is in San Joaquin County. Uh, what happens is when I hear other people's stories, because the recovery group isn't just for domestic violence, anger management, but it's people dealing with childhood trauma, separation anxiety, uh, anything that attacks the mind that you're traumatized with.
Hmm.
That's what we're going after to try to help people get better. People trying to show people that you don't have to sell drugs, you don't have to fight, you don't have to want to pick up a gun, you don't have to do all that because I've done that.
Hmm.
I've been in jail, I've done my wrongdoings, but now I know who I am now. It had, and I know my wrongs. I'm no
Hmm.
saint. I've done a lot of wrong, but I got my mind matured. I, I I I finally got matured. I got my mind right, and I'm loving my life.
That's right.
It's
You know
on
what?
my
It sounds like you've taken accountability,
yeah
for the wrongs that we've done in our lives, and that's it's important that we do those things.
yeah
To take accountability for what we've done, and that's how we learn. You know what I mean? Those are lessons, and it's not. We don't have to feel shame for some of the things that we've done. It's all part of life. It's a lesson that you have to learn. And I'm glad that you're able to see that, because there's still a lot of people out there that they have a hard time with that accountability. So, and I know it's tough. It is.
yeah. Even my wrestling company, um, when she talked with the mediator, uh, I forgot she had bashed my wrestling company, said that they didn't like her, they didn't like the kids. My kids were loud. Um, the owner and other students complained about them because they wouldn't sit still. She painted a picture that she was in harm's way, and that's why she left. She painted a picture that my surroundings, that she was always around, was toxic.
Hmm.
It was it was very it was it was unsafe for her.
Yeah.
So she had no other choice to leave. But she railroad you railroaded the owner, you railroad the wrestlers, you railroad me, you railroad the whole staff because you wanted to do something sneaky.
Hmm.
And that's the worst part. So I mean, the worst part is I have to forgive her if I want to move
That's
forward.
right.
I forgive her for what she's done. I, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna forget. I
That's right.
forgive her, but I would never go back to her. I will
Mm.
never go back that route
See, and
because
that, you know what, just what you said there, dude, I don't mean to cut you off, but what you said there is, a lot of people are gonna, they're gonna think, wow, like, for what she's done to you, for you to be able to forgive her, that takes a big person, and it really does, man. Like, it really does. And I've said that before too. It's, you have to forgive, you know what I mean? And the same thing with myself. I forgive as well. But the key is what you said afterwards, and it's like we don't forget. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. I forgive. And I really do forgive, but I won't forget as to what happened, and how we've gotten to where we are, basically. And I know it's the same with you. And it's, again, that's the lesson that you have to take, is that yes, you forgive, and the lesson is that you don't forget, so that you don't make those same mistakes again. You know what I mean? And yeah, I like, for sure, you wouldn't take her back again, and I'm sure that anybody listening would know that. But in her mind, you know what I mean? And it's sad, because in her mind, there's probably that possibility that she still thinks that, there's that little glimmer of hope still, because that's just the type of personality that, you're dealing with, as having to deal with somebody that has narcissistic traits.
yeah,
So, and then you're right, forgiveness is a huge part of trying to heal from the certain things, especially what you've gone through. But a lot of others have been falsely accused, again, of things that they didn't do. And then, we're dealing with battles that not many people know about. So, I'm glad that you're able to speak on subjects like this, and, hold your head up high, because, it's all a lesson that we had to learn. And again, Brian, I appreciate it. And I know it's hard. Like, I really do. I know it's tough. I know it's tough, and especially, you've gone a couple months now and not seeing your kids, and really for no valid reason. You know what I mean? So I know that I want you to continue on with the support group, because I know how important it is. And this is kind of like what this is, a father's truth. And when I do these lives, it's basically like a support group. You know what I mean? We're doing a support group that's alive, talking about situations that really people don't want us to talk about. And the only way that we can try and heal ourselves is to talk about these things, and have these understandings, and have compassion for others that have gone through it. So I tip my hat off to you, bro, like I said before, because I do truly know how hard it is to try and manage through the system, and keep that sane mentality that you definitely need.
yeah.
So you're in California. I have a lot of people that have actually swarmed out of California as of late. And I want to let everybody know about your group that you have now. Do you do this on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis?
Um, every Saturday at 12:30 to 1:45 in Stockton, California. The address is 71 West 5th Street, Stockton, California, 95206. And we have different topics, different things. And it's inside a church,
Okay.
but what I'm doing is I'm not pushing religion on you. This is
Hmm.
straight up support group. I'm not coming out the Bible, anything. This is talking about everyday troubles, and that's where a lot of people are kind of confused. Well, this is
Yeah.
church. The Bible said no. I'm doing it in a church, but I'm still talking about regular, everyday problems.
Yeah. Okay.
And women, divorce, separation, boyfriend and girlfriend breakup, how to get back from a broken heart. And when we do these discussions, I like to hear from other people's sides too. So it's not just the male side. You hear the woman's side too, of what they have to endure. But what it
Yeah.
is we're a unit. We're all trying to grow together. We're all trying to heal together
That's
because
right.
that's what it takes. So hearing their stories, they don't really know, but hearing other people's stories is helping me get through weekly, daily, because every day it's hard for me to wake up and not have my kids with me. It is torment, and I'm trying to stay positive, but how how do you stay positive with that, man? Like she
I get it.
is, I mean,
I do get it. Man, it's tough to try and stay positive. Uh, I put out a post yesterday with a picture of my daughter and myself that was taken about a month prior to, me being hit with a silver bullet, and I haven't seen my kids now. It's 1,560 days. Um, I went through, the same stories. You've heard all of these stories over and over, about false allegations and how they don't look for evidence. So, again, it comes to the point where, you have to think of the real positives out of it. And a lot of people, they look at what I do and possibly what you do, as maybe a negative, because, we've gone through these things and they think that, it's a bash session. And I want people to realize and fully understand that that's not why we're here. You know what I mean? We have to obviously give facts. You know what I mean? We have to give details as to how we got in the situation in the first place. And unfortunately, we've gotten to this situation because a woman has done something to us and used our kids as pawns in the court system. So that is just this, that's the reality of it. You cannot be more blunt than that. And, there has to be some sort of positive out of it. So, I understand that it's frustrating, and trust me, man, I've been in this for 4 years now, and I've seen a lot of people come and go. So, the thing is to try and keep that positivity going by doing whatever it takes. Really, that's just what it is, whatever it takes. You obviously do MMA, you're into the wrestling scene as well. So, you have that workout that you can go into, you can get into that mentality and kind of lose yourself in it and go into that beast mode, I guess, that you need to get into to get over whatever you need to get over within that day, whereas many people don't. So, having platforms like mine, having platforms like yours, which is an in-person platform, it's good for people to go to and reach out, and they need to be aware that, nobody's perfect. There's not a single person in this world, brother, that's perfect. That's a reality that doesn't exist. So we're all there to learn. And, the toughest thing is, when we're dealing with these things, and now we know that you're getting a clear picture as to what actually the family court system's about. So the frustration part of it, I get it, I really do. And, people are always asking, then what do we do? And on Friday, I'm going to announce, my plan for what we're going to do. But it's basically about standing up. It's basically about standing up, uniting, and, you're going to have people that are going to have differences. They're not going to have the same opinion as you. But if we're all there for the same purpose, which is for our kids, and it's their futures that we're trying to fight for, that's just what it is. I tell people all the time as well that what I've gone through and now what you've gone through, we've already gone through these things. So we can't change them. You know what I mean? We cannot change them. All we can try and do is we can either make it positive or we can make it negative by continuing to do nothing. So the positive approach for me is, again, standing up to everything, standing up to the system, standing up to these lawyers, these judges that don't listen. In your case, it was a little bit different. They finally did listen, but, look how many opportunities that they gave her. So again, we talked about it. Would you have that many opportunities had the shoe been on the other foot? I highly doubt it. So, again, for people out in the Stockton area, reach out to Charles, because he's got a story that, he's been through a lot. So there's a lot that he can understand. He can help. And, I know that's why you're there, brother. I've been watching some of the comments, that have been popping up, and it seems like a lot of people that have been commenting, they actually do know you. They know who you are. They know the type of person that you are, and they know that, the God and universe is on your side, bro. So, it's as frustrating and hard as it is. We just got to keep our head up and continue to fight, and you are a fighter, that's, you do that, you're kind of like the Batman, you know what I mean? You have to do that in the day and you have to do that at night because you're constantly in that fight. And for me, it's like, yeah, that's probably who we are, but we shouldn't have to be that way. You know what I mean? There should be equality. There should have been equality in your case to begin with, and there really never was until they gave her multiple opportunities that they wouldn't have given you had the shoe been on the other foot. So we really see the need for what we're doing. And again, if anybody's in the California area that wants to check it out, I'll repost the information for the Saturday meetings that you have at the church with the location so that people can find you. You know what I mean? If you wanna, if you have maybe an email address that if I can get from you, I'll throw that in there as well. I'll try to keep some phone numbers out of the mix, but it's important that if people want to reach out, because like I said, I have a lot of people that are in California as of late that have been reaching out to me, and being a Canadian, there's only so much that I can do. So with you having that outlet for people to be able to express themselves that way, I feel that would be important to share that information with people.
Yeah. Um, my email address is charming kid, CharmingKid 415 at gmail.com.
Okay.
Um,
So anybody that's heard that, you can throw Charles an email. I'll also repost that email for everybody. Now, listen, bud, um, it was a pleasure. It's unfortunate that we have to meet each other under these circumstances, but I'm a firm believer, and I know that you are too, that everything does happen for a reason in life, and there are certain people out there that God has chosen, and you're looking at two of them right now. And we are looking for changes in the family court system, and we aren't stopping. And that's the biggest thing that I think a lot of people don't really understand, is that they do feel that they've seen so much of it and there's not a lot of hope out there. And I know that it's very important for guys like you and me to continue to give people that hope, that there is people out there that do care. There are people out there that want to help, and there are people out there that want to change the system.
and,
Go ahead.
if I can just say one thing for everybody, anyone's going through what I'm going through, no matter what it is, even if the situation's a little different, don't quit. It's so it's so easy to quit. The hardest thing you want to hear is be patient. The hardest thing you're going to want to hear is um, things will things will turn around. Sometimes they won't turn around.
Mhm.
Sometimes it won't. But it's what we're doing this for. This fight is for sometimes it's for the next
That's
person.
right.
And just keep supporting each other because I thank you. I thank Godfather was slow down. Go, uh, thank you for being a big brother, man. 'Cause I needed it. My girls were everything, and the way they were stripped away is messed up. But I'm doing exactly what you said. I'm not quitting. We got the support group going. Keep going strong. Love you too, Flacco, Papa. I apologize for the tears, but
No, don't never apologize, brother. Never apologize.
it's, it's rough when I'm not quitting, man.
That's right. And that's the most important thing, is that we don't quit. And I got your back, bro, no matter what. You know what I mean? I know it's tough. And one day your kids are going to see this, and they're going to see how hard their dad fought. And they're going to see how that he didn't give up. These tears are tears of a loving parent. And people have to start seeing this. It is crazy. So, yeah, man, I know it's tough, and there's no shame because you didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? You were there. It's a system that is failing you right now, and that's why
I
it's very important, bro, that we stand up to it. So, and again, like I said before, this stuff has already happened to us. So, this fight that we're fighting right now is for our kids, and it's for our grandkids, and it's for the next generation. So, continue to fight. Don't quit, and I honestly, brother, I hope things do get better for you. I really do, and I hope
believe it will.
you know what I mean. And I hope that you get that stamp, and as, as fuck. And I'm just gonna say it, as fucked up as it is. A stamp shouldn't be what separates you from being a parent. That's the most absurd thing that I've actually heard today. You know what I mean? Is you're just waiting on that stamp. You already have the judgment. You already have the court order, but because it's not stamped, you're, you know what I mean? It's an absolute mockery of the system that we can't, we just, I'm speechless right now because of it. You know what I mean? Because everybody that has watched this, I know it's, like I said, I knew it was going to be heartbreaking, and I really did. And, when are we going to stop and finally take action on things that we know we have to, So, bro, like I said, I hope everything does work out your way. I can tell that, you're a loving father. You're strong, man. You got it. And you can't let them break you,
Yeah.
So stay strong, bro. I know how hard it is. And if anybody wants to reach out, like I said, I'm going to post the link for the meetings as well as your Instagram account. Hopefully, by doing that, we can start reaching more people, because that's what we need to do. And I was speaking a little bit about this beforehand, that it just takes us talking about it more, man, and taking action on these things, and we're going to get there. I truly believe that, and I know that you'll get there as well, man.
Yeah.
All right, so I appreciate your time, bro. Like I said, it was a pleasure of mine. It's an unfortunate circumstance that we had to meet this way, but I am glad that we did. And dude, I feel for you, man. I really do, and I again hope that things turn out your way, bud.
Thank you.
All right, so everybody, thank my guest Charles for joining, sharing his story. It's a shame that we have to go through these things in 2023. And now we're 2 months away from 2024. Friday, folks, I'm going to lay some bombs for people. Friday is going to be your opportunity and your chance to actually do something. Because if we don't, we're going to have to continue having these discussions. And, we're going to have to continue to have to try and tell our kids in the future why this is still happening and why we didn't do enough to stop it. Because I know that we can do something to stop it. We just have to get out of that fear state that the courts put us through. So,
Yeah.
again, brother, appreciate everything. This is going to end the truth, Father's Truth live for tonight. Um, again, bro, good luck on everything. Good luck on the wrestling too. I know that you're kind of in your rookie season. Godfather Souls had a lot of good things to say about you. Keep it going, bud. Keep it going, too sweet. And again, like the Godfather says, and I know what he does and why he's doing it. I know that you're probably doing those same things for the same reasons. So stick to it, bud. Never quit. And
Fight,
we're gonna talk soon, bud.
fight with honor,
All right, buddy.
brother.
All right,
Have a good one.
all right, man. Take it easy, and you have a good night. And we'll talk soon, man.
All good.
Cheers, buddy.
All right, brother.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Like I said, I knew that Charles' story was going to be a heartbreaker. I'd been given a little bit of details from a friend of his beforehand. Did a little bit of research of my own, so I knew that it was going to be I knew it was going to be tough. And this is why, folks, that we have to stand up to this. There's so much information out there about parental alienation and false allegations and what the family court system actually is. So if there's so much information out there, and we know that it's not broken, it was meant to be the way that it is. So if we know these things and we know that they're not looking out for the best interests of our children, we know that. They look out for the best interests of the courts, and that's to generate as much money as they can off the conflicts in our lives. We have to take a stand on it. There has to be a point where somebody looks at one of these interviews that I have done and say enough is enough, because I got loads of people right now that want to take action, but we need more, because like anything, it takes numbers, and we will defeat this, because I have that feeling and I have had that intuition tell me that you're on the right path. You just got to keep going. And like Charles said before we finished the interview, you can't quit, and you can't, because a warrior never quits. We get knocked down. Yes, we do. 100% we do. But we pick up our shield, we pick up our sword, and we continue to fight on another day. So again, everybody, thank you for joining me tonight with my guest, Charles King. It was an absolute pleasure. Again, unfortunate circumstance that we had to meet and talk about the subjects that we talked about, but it's important, and we will continue to do so. Tomorrow night, I have a returning guest, Special Agent Bill Corbett from Veteran Fathers. He will be on at 7 p.m. Eastern. We are going to talk a little bit about what Bill has been working on lately, some of the stuff that Bill has put out there. I want to bring up some of the little videos that he's put out, and what we need to do as parents in order to change the system. Because most people watching will know that I am Canadian, but a lot of my guests have been American. They've been from the UK, Australia, South Africa. So this is a worldwide problem, and this needs worldwide attention, and we're about to do that. So tune in tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be opening up the Truth Vault with Bill Corbett. Till then, everybody, thanks and have a good night, and we'll talk soon.